video, I'm going to show you how to vent through a window for your Glowforge and how to create this contraption here. Alright, so this video is going to show you how to vent through a window like I said previously. You'll see the two videos off to the right kind of looping through, showing you exactly what I mean by venting through a window. I'll go through the entire process with you. It took me about 3 hours total, but it shouldn't even take you that long. I'll go through all the materials that I used and then the step-by-step process. I'll break it down into 6 easy steps, and yeah, shouldn't be too difficult. If you want to, just make sure you look at the description for any materials that I've used. I'm going to link those with the prices so that you know about how much this will cost you should you not have some of these materials on hand. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the materials that you will need for this project. Okay, so here you can see there's not a lot that you're going to need, and for most people you're going to have some of these things on hand. You won't actually have to go out and buy them. So you're going to need a wooden board, a tape measure, a jigsaw or a table saw, some screws, a drill, a 4 to 6 inch drill bit, a dryer vent hood, caulk or some sealant, and then weather strip tape. I'll go ahead and get into what each of these things is used for on the next couple of slides. Alright, so you got your board, your measuring tape, and your jigsaw or your table saw. We got our board from Lowe's. It was about $15. We made sure it was 1/2 inch thick to fit our window groove. We were placing it in, and then we made sure it was tall enough to actually fit the vent that we were putting through it. We used a jigsaw just because it's what we had around. We didn't have a table saw, but I think that a table saw would probably be a lot easier to cut with. It's a lot more precise and quicker. Yeah, but for this stuff, usually you might have all of this stuff laying around. We didn't have a wooden board that quite fit our window, so we spent about $15 at Lowe's on that. Alright, the next things you're going to need are your 6 inch drill bit, 4 inches if your hole is actually going to be 4 inches. You'll need obviously a drill for that piece, and then you'll need some screws. So the 6 inch drill bit that we bought it at Lowe's. It's about $20 on Amazon. The one thing you do need to know is that you will need an attachment piece to actually put this into your drill, so you'll kind of see it poking through that blue drill bit in the picture. It wasn't too much. It's about $20 on Amazon, and to be completely honest, we actually took it back after we used it this one time. You'll need some screws. Make sure that they're not too long, otherwise they will go through your board. So these screws are for screwing the vent hood that you're going to have into the board. And then obviously you'll need your drill to do both of those things. Alright, and then the last 3 items that you're going to need for this project. The most important thing for this whole project is your dryer vent hood. The ones that are 4 inches are a lot cheaper than the ones that are 6 inches. So again, the 4 to 6 inch discrepancy I keep talking about just depends on how big of a hose you are using to filter your air through. So we personally use a 6 inch hose because we bought an inline fan, so it's a bigger, vent system. So we had to buy the 6 inch dryer vent hood, and it was about $30 at Lowe's. But like I said, the 4 inch ones, they're a lot cheaper, and you can get them on Amazon for super cheap. You also need weather strip tape. This was $16 at Lowe's. You can get it for cheaper on Amazon. Again, I'm going to link all these things in the description for you guys later on too, with pricing. And we use that weather strip tape to go around the board after we are done with everything, just so that it kind of seals it up in the window. And then same thing, we use caulk or sealant just to seal around the hole that we create in our board and push through our vent hood, or push our vent hood through, just so that there's no air getting through, or bugs or anything getting through with this piece of board that's actually in your window. And that's it for the material. So now we're just going to jump right into the step-by-step process of how to create this thing. Alright, so the first step to creating this vent hood is just to measure the window that you've chosen to vent out of and cut your board to size. Most windows are going to have like an inner groove, which will act as kind of like a seal to hold your board into place. Ours was 1/2 inch, and so we made sure that the board we bought fit into that groove. You'll also want to make sure that you cut your board a bit shorter than the actual window groove so that you can fit it into the groove section later. Our groove was 35 inches, but I cut the board 34 inches so that it would fit. And then later I'll show you how to seal that gap up. Okay. Alright, for step 2, you're actually going to cut a hole into the board for your vent hood to fit through. So you'll need your board, as well as a drill bit and a drill. So again, the 4 to 6 inches, it just depends on how big of a hood you're fitting through here. For us, we are doing a 6-inch one. So first you're just going to attach the drill bit to your drill, make sure it's secure. You'll see him in the video giving it a few practice pumps before starting the cut. It does take quite a bit of pressure to push the bit through the board, but just be patient, it will cut through, it's sharp, you know. If you have a jigsaw, you can also just trace the circumference of your vent hood and cut the hole out with your jigsaw. But this is step 2, just actually cutting that hole out. Okay, we're going to move into step 3 now. Alright, so for step 3, we're going to insert the dryer vent hood directly into the hole that you've cut out. Now the circumference of the vent hood pipe is going to be like the exact circumference of your hole because of, you know, the drill bit that you used. And so because of this, you may need to use like an electric sander or a jigsaw to cut the hole a little bit bigger, so you have enough room to slide your vent hood into the board. So like we couldn't get ours in there, and we just used an electric sander to kind of sand down the edges, give it a little bit more of a circumference, a greater of a circumference, so that it really fit in there tight and snug. So just know that as you complete this step, it might take a little bit to push it in there. Alright, for step 4, you're going to secure your vent hood to your board with screws. So you'll need some screws for this, you'll need your board obviously, and you'll need your drill. You want to make sure that your screws that you have aren't longer than the depth of your board. You don't want them like poking through the other side. So as I mentioned earlier, our board is half an inch thick. So we made sure that our screws weren't longer than that, so they're not like poking through the other side, because that's going to be showing in the room that we put this in. The vent hood we purchased came with pre-cut holes for the screws on each corner. It's pretty, I think, standard. And yeah, we didn't really do much besides just screw this in here. And then I didn't include this on the videos or just even in its own step, but after doing this, I painted the board so that it had like a uniform look and wasn't all like scratched up from the drilling or the screwing or anything like that, so it looked nice, because again, it is going to be in your room and you're going to see it in your home. Alright, so for step 5, I wanted to make sure that everything was sealed up and secure before placing the board and the hood into my window. So I used some weather strip tape that I picked up from Lowe's to line the outer edge of the board. This type of tape, it expands with heat, and so it'll fill pretty much any gap that's in between my window and my board. I know that you probably remember earlier I said to cut it a little bit shorter than your actual window so it would fit in, but this tape actually makes it seal up pretty nice and tight. And then additionally, I caulked around the pipe of the vent hood and the board. I had a little gap from sanding the hole down earlier so that the pipe would actually fit through the board, and I just wanted to make sure that it was super secure, so you can just get basic caulk sealant from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and just seal it around with your finger so that it's nice and secure. There's no backflow of air back into the room, there's no bugs that can get in through this, and yeah, it's sealed up pretty nicely. So that is step 5. Alright, your last and final step, step 6. So this last step is to fit your completed creation directly into your window. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. The weather strip tape may make it a little bit difficult to wedge in, but that just means that it's really secure. Okay, so it might take a little bit to get it in there. Once your vent is in place, you can secure your exhaust hose to the actual pipe right there sticking out and safely filter the fumes out of your Glowforge. And that's pretty much it. It was a really quick project, only took about, like I said, 3 hours, and that was with us filming it, painting it, doing all the extra things. So that is the end of this video, this tutorial. If you would like a step-by-step of how to actually hook up that hose to the pipe and then to your Glowforge, I'll be posting one of those soon. Otherwise, good luck with this. The whole process didn't take that long, and again, I'll link all the products that I purchased in the description with pricing. Okay? Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful. Like I said earlier, in the description below, there's going to be links to all the different materials with pricing that I talked about and kind of went over. And then again, for more Glowforge tips, tricks, and tutorials, you can just subscribe. We're going to be putting out videos pretty often, just kind of documenting our journey with this laser engraver. Additionally, you can follow us on Instagram at Creations by Nanolua, and you can visit our Etsy shop to see some of these creations at etsy.com/shop/nanoluashop. Okay? Last thing is, in the description as well, I've linked our affiliate discount code for Glowforge, which gives you a pretty hefty discount up to $500 off of your own Glowforge. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in Glowforge and get some money off. But thanks again for watching.